Let's roll. Let's roll. Hey, what's going on, everyone? Judd here with Asphalt Kingdom. And I'm super stoked, man, to be here with Jake Burhoff right now from Burhoff Paving and Sealcoating. And I'm super stoked because I have literally witnessed this evolution of Jake Burhoff. Not just personally, man, but like witnessed your business growth over the last several years. And it's been really cool, man. The last freestyle jam, which you can find down in the link right here below, you'll see that, that first jam that we did. But now we're on again, and we're talking about kind of what has happened between then and now. And the goal of these freestyle jams, of course, are to bring golden nuggets to you guys so that you can hopefully grab those and really continue to improve the industry, but also build the future that you're looking to achieve and experience in your life, man. Freedom's a special thing. So as I'm here, with no further ado, man, Jake Burhoff, it's good to see you smiling on here, brother, and I appreciate your time.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
So Burhoff Paving and Sealcoating, right? Burhoff Paving and
Yeah.
Sealcoating. And I remember when it was Burhoff Outdoor Services. Take us back to the last freestyle jam and kind of, where you were then, asphalt maintenance, driveways, small repairs to what the heck's happening, man? You guys blew up.
Yeah, if I can remember correctly, I think the last time we were talking in the freestyle jam, I was really talking about how we wanted to get into paving and we wanted to kind of, still do seal coating, but steer more into the paving aspect and, kind of get more into construction stuff. And I think we've kind of gotten at that point now where we're doing a lot of paving projects, just about like 3 or 4 driveways a week. We'll do rip out, replace for, full driveways. And we're still doing seal coating and residential commercial seal coating, but really we kind of tried to dial in the paving part and kind of have that as a main service that we offer. So since then we've kind of we bought a skid steer so that we can rip out driveways and stuff. We're slowly starting to get trucks and everything we need to kind of have the full operation. But yeah, no, it's a work in progress.
Dude, so listen, take us back to that point where it's like, oh man, I'm going to make this decision and I'm going to buy a paver and we're going to have to figure out how to do this. What was that like for you guys when you were making that kind of that growth step in your business to move into paving? How did that feel for you?
It was scary. It was nerve-wracking. It was definitely a big step with over here in Chicago, there's a lot of permitting and inspections that go into paving. So it's really not just like, get the contract signed, rip out the driveway and install it. There's really a lot of insurance, and you got to have different licensing, and you got to have a lot more equipment. And so it was a little nerve-wracking, but we just kind of did it. We just said there's really no other way to do it than to do it, so let's just kind of start selling it that we're doing it, and show everyone that we can do it. And luckily we had a few guys that were experienced in the past too, so it wasn't just like we were going into it blindly. We had people that were beside us that were kind of guiding us, and we were learning from each other and stuff. But really overall it was just one big learning process. It's we never had done it before, so we knew that we didn't want to be only seal coating forever. We wanted to do more construction and kind of feel see what it felt like to make the bigger money and stuff. And it was definitely worth it. I feel like we love paving. It's it's definitely one of those things that you can offer when you show up to a driveway and it's like beyond belief of seal coating, and you're like, well, we can also replace the driveway too. So you're more of a full service company, especially when you do everything in house. We very rarely sub things out. So we kind of just do it all on our own, and we get it done. We stay pretty busy out here.
It's growth is not all cupcakes and butterflies, right? Like there's adversity, there's challenge, there's pain, there's fear, there's this feeling of like, okay, I want to grow, but I'm going to become reclusive and go back to my comfortable spot. Then it's like, no, I'm going to go back to it and I'm going to feel the pain, and I'm willing to grow, and I'm willing to put in the reps and the time, and I'm willing to surround myself with great people and ask questions and not feel alone. And I'm willing to pop into that next level of growth. And you're in this new vibration, which is where you are kind of now. So you've gone through asphalt maintenance, repairs, into paving, asphalt maintenance and repairs, and doing outdoor services as well. You do stuff that's beyond that as well. So you've got kind of this this exterior services business that's really becoming more of this holistic solution. Can you tell us more about what that's like to add multi-services to your offering? And I hear often more is not always better, but I'd like to hear your perspective on this and how it's maybe helped you guys to really grow.
When we first started our business with the outdoor services, me and my brother Austin, we had the intent of kind of doing a lot of different things other than seal coating. At that time, we were doing a lot of like pressure washing and odds and end things with like paver patios and polymeric sand and stuff. So we kind of in the beginning didn't really know, but since then, that's why we have changed over to Burr-Off paving and seal coating, because we're really kind of dialed into just the asphalt maintenance portion of it. We were getting a lot of clients reaching out to us wanting landscaping work done and stuff like that, and we were just kind of too busy with the paving and the seal coating portion. So we really just kind of, put an end to all that with the outdoor services. It was just bringing on too much traffic with like wanting landscaping work done, especially over here in the Chicagoland area. It's just, there's so many people. It's so highly populated that you're getting so many phone calls, and when a lot of them are for landscaping, it's kind of like, all right, we got to figure out what we can do to kind of eliminate that part. So since then, yeah, we really just have dialed into the paving, seal coating, line striping portion of everything, and we still do, little repairs, obviously, and we'll do stuff where, in the springtime we do other stuff for our clients that we have that we, service year round. We'll do odds and ends jobs for them just to kind of stay busy. But it's really just mostly paving, seal coating, and line striping is our big things.
So you and your brother start this business out. You're bootstrapping the thing, right? As a starting point, it was just the two of you. Is that right?
It was just me and Austin. We had, a little truck and one of those little 250-gallon white totes with the plastic valves on them, and we would just knock on doors every day, all day, with no
And
jobs until we got some. And we just did
and
really good work. And we,
what did you?
when people weren't happy with something, like God forbid somebody called us, and said this, that, and the other, we would just making it a point to make sure everyone was always happy. That was like our biggest thing, was just to make sure no matter what we got to do, even if we got to go back there and redo it or whatever, we're just going to make sure everyone's happy. That way we can kind of, build we can build a good business, where we're
Yeah,
at now. And that's, a
yeah,
lot of people reach out to us now because of our 5-star reviews and our good ratings. And, a lot of our work is word of mouth. But yeah, it's kind of worked out for us since then. We have
dudes.
we have 6 or 7, we have 7 guys on our payroll now. And we got about three or four guys on the paving crew. There's 3 guys in our seal coating crew. And we stay busy Monday through Friday.
Dude, what a cool journey. And now how many years is it that you guys have been in business officially in the paving market?
This will be our 5th year. This is our fifth
Fifth,
year. Yeah,
fifth year. And so are you finding that you're getting a lot of these returning customers because of the creating a remarkable experience, the care aspect of your business?
definitely. Back to what you were just saying. We've been in seal coating for 3 years, paving for 2. So this is our second year paving. And
Right.
yeah, definitely we have had a lot of return clients for definitely seal coating and paving. And hey, I told my neighbor about you. You guys did my driveway, and I told my mom about you. And that's the best feeling when you got people that are, referring you to their parents and to their neighbors, and it's just like, it really kind of starts to make it feel like everything's starting to pay off, and you're not doing the knocking on doors thing anymore, even though that's like kind of where you started. I don't get me wrong, I love knocking on doors. It's like my favorite thing to do. I love cold
I
calling. I
know
love
that.
walking into businesses and asking them if they want a quote on their parking lot. It's just like I don't think I'll ever lose that in me. I just love it. But yeah, it definitely pays off when you start to get, the clients coming in, your phones won't stop ringing, and guys are staying busy. It's a good feeling.
What is your main position now as an owner of the business, as a leader in your business? What is your main day to day now?
I would say my main day to day is sales and operations. And I do a lot of estimates. I do a lot of estimates every day, probably, some guys might do more than me, but I do about 7 to 10 estimates a day. If it's not seal coating, it's paving. And we're doing, commercial parking lot estimates too. So I stay busy in that aspect. And then when I'm not doing estimates, I'm bouncing to and from job sites and checking in on guys, or I do a lot of follow-ups on seal coat projects. Every time we seal coat a driveway, I go by and we check at the end and we, talk with the client and make sure everything looks good. And, I do a lot of that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's really more of just like the my face is on kind of everything and I'm talking to everybody. And uh, I'm never like just sitting behind a computer in an office ever. Nor
Right.
do I want to be. But
Yeah.
I'm sure down the road there'll be point in time when I can kind of step away from doing all this and more kind of solidify more. I want to really kind of more focus on sales. Sales, sales, sales. Be reaching out to property management companies, all day long and kind of do stuff like that. Um, but for right now, I do have to kind of get in the field sometimes and operate things and make sure things are done accordingly and whatnot, just like everyone else does. But that's just the way it goes.
I love that, man. And like, so for your company right now, what is the vision for your company? Like, you take us down the line 2 years from now, not another 5 years, but 2 years from now. What is Baroth Paving and Seal Coating looking like at 2 years from now?
I'd say 2 years from now, we definitely we're still going to be paving. We're going to be paving driveways. We're going to probably stick with residential paving, just because over here in Chicagoland, it's just easier for us to stay with residential. And we're still going to be seal coating driveways and just kind of keeping it going. I hope to eventually have another seal coating crew rolling. So we have multiple seal coating crews out doing seal coating, and then hopefully down the road we can get another paving crew going if it, works out in itself. But I don't like to rush things. I like to just kind of let things kind of, roll smoothly. I don't like to make big investments in equipment yet until I know that I have, the stuff to do it. So yeah, it's just kind of it'll be a slow process for us, but I see by within 2 years we'll probably have another seal coat crew running, and we'll be doing kind of multiple different seal coat jobs at a time. That's kind of a thing that holds us back right now is we got one seal coat crew, so we got to schedule accordingly throughout the day. And yeah, if I was able to get another crew going down the line, I think it would be definitely in our best interest.
Nice question for you, because this is something that comes up often and you hear it often. You ever heard business owners complain about there not being enough work out there for them, and that they're complaining about the lowest bidders, and there's this kind of vibration that comes off them.
Yeah.
What is your opinion on that? I'm curious.
I don't really pay attention to people who bid low even when I send a bid to somebody and they come to me and they say that they got a bid a lot lower. I just, explain to them why my bid is higher. I kind of explain to them how we offer very high quality service, and, with us, everything is streamlined. They don't really have to worry about things when they kind of go with us. And then also I just kind of preach that, because we do use a lot. We use like high quality materials. We don't really kind of, short end on things. I just when people say that, I just kind of tell them that, you got to get out there. If you don't have any work, I mean, there was a point when I didn't have any work, and I promise you, I'd go out all day long and I would just go to every single business and go walk in and ask for business cards for whoever, property managers or general managers or district managers. And you just got to get your name out there and hope for the best.
You know, I I have this saying that I think is super, super important. And there's been some books that I've read that have influenced this quote, but it's like, show me your calendar, show me your schedule, show me your calendar, and I'll show you your future. Show me your sales pipeline, your actual pipeline, and your calendar, and I'll show you even more of your future. I often hear people complaining and saying things that are all mush mush. It's just the way the emotions take over us and dictate the way that we're going to unfold our future. But if we actually looked at the data, how many doors did I knock on today? How many quotes did I actually give? How many quotes did I follow up with a tactical follow-up approach? If you push the dominoes forward one at a time the right way, that are real, not just emotional, mental diarrhea, but it's real action, the reaction is going to be extraordinary. But if for anyone watching right now, if you're in a spot where you're getting overwhelmed by emotion, you're gonna have challenges. There's absolutely no doubt, man. Because I remember starting out too, Jake, and like not having the phone ring, not having leads pouring in, not having the jobs that are just stacking up, not having the hundreds of thousands of dollars that's coming in. I know exactly what that's like, man. So I feel you when you say that. What would be your best advice to somebody like that? Is it just to get out and start meeting people, knocking on doors, networking events, or what would you be recommending to someone that might feel stuck?
I would say, yeah, stuff like that. Free marketing, any free marketing you could get your hands on. Local apps like Nextdoor, like Facebook. Sometimes it's hard to market on Facebook because they don't really like you to, but there's ways around it. Join local groups, whatever area you're around, join those local groups and kind of market to those people, and just kind of once you get one job, it starts to kind of slowly go down. If you're seal coating a driveway, knock on the two neighbors' doors next door and kind of, explain to them I'm here. And that's what I think. I think that if you don't have any work, you got to get out there and you got to get your face out there and you got to start talking to people, and you have to, just even if you just, like little mom and pop shops, if they look like they need something done, just go in there with a quote ready to go. Don't even ask them if they need one. Just go in there, give it to them, get on their radar, and then follow up with them in a couple days, and just do that 10, 15 times. And I guarantee you'll get a few people that will, be like, oh wow, he just saved us the heartache of having to go out and find a guy to do it. We need to get it done. It's a liability. It's going to cause us an issue down the road. Liabilities have to be fixed. So if you can get someone a quote to alleviate them of a liability before it becomes an issue, it's like, why wouldn't they go with you? That's what I look at it like too. Go out there and look for potholes. I used to do that. We would do that in winter. We bought the RXY 2x2. We'd go out there and we would do infrared potholes for gas stations and stuff, all sorts of places. But yeah, I've always been one to, when we don't have any work, we're out there. Me and Austin or whoever is with me in sales at that moment, we're out there, we're going around and we're cold calling and we're calling, the for lease signs and stuff, and we're just blowing them up,
I
because it
love
makes
it,
you
man.
feel a lot better when you're doing that. And even if you don't get one at the end of the day, you did that.
Lost your audio, brother. We lost your audio.
I don't know how that happened.
No, you're all good.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good.
It
You're
makes you
good.
feel a lot better when you do that at the end of the day compared to if you didn't do nothing and you just waited around for the phone to ring all day.
Dude, that is so important, man, what you just said right there, right? It's like at the end of the day, can you look in the mirror in your own eyes and say, you give it your best shot? Like, I gave this my best shot. And if you did that, then you're on the right path. You can't keep doing the same right things over and over again without getting a great result of some kind, man. And it's like, you got to do it, though. You got to put in the work. All this is mush. These are all words right now for people watching right now. This is just us having a conversation, trying to give you some perspective, expand your peripheral vision, but you've got to go put in the work now, right?
Really got to. Yeah, I say to my guys all the time, like when we show up on a job and it's like, oh goodness gracious, where do we start? The only way to get it done is just to do it. You just got to get out there and do it. That's it. Fortunately.
Yeah, I love that. I love that, man. And I love that you're wearing a camo hat because it fits right into what we're talking about right now. You got to go hunt the opportunities, man. They're out there. Asphalt's everywhere, man. It's everywhere.
And there's plenty of work out here for everybody too. There's really no point in being in competition with anybody. There's so much asphalt. It's unbelievable. You can't be mad at the next guy for getting a job, because there's another job right next to it. There's always a job ready to be done. So that's why I also preach that too. I really like it that sense. I've noticed over the past few years, the asphalt community has become like very tight knit, and everyone's very, encouraging of new guys, and everyone's kind of very, nice to want to the next guy. So I like that about the asphalt community, and yeah, I feel like everyone should be like that. Even to new guys coming in.
You saw it at Paybacks, man, when we're all down there.
I saw it in Paybacks too. Right. Everyone's very, encouraging, and everyone wants to see the next guy do good, and then everyone's just another guy. It's nothing to be afraid of.
Couldn't agree more, man. And that's what it's all about. To me, it's about unity. It's about collaboration. It's working together for the betterment of the industry, man. Like that's the thing, right? Like, operate with integrity Don't cut corners. There's always going to be something speaking at you, trying to make a job more profitable, but don't do that through cutting corners. Do that through selling value and going above and beyond, right?
Yeah, it all
And to
pays
me,
off in the end.
yeah, exactly.
Without a doubt.
Well, brother, I have one more question, and then I know you got to get back to it. I can see you driving on the way to probably a job right now. But I have one more question, man. If there was one thing that you could go back and do differently from the beginning, what would that be?
What would that be? You want to know what I wished I would do from the very beginning, from the very first time I started my business, the very first job I did? I wish that I would have gotten on a CRM and I would have tracked everything I did from the very, very beginning. And I would have had everything, I would have been able to kind of show for everything that I've done. Because there was, those first couple years when I was doing a lot of, knocking on doors and this and that, and driveways, how much to do the driveway, $100, whatever, keep it moving, keep it moving. There's a lot of people that I missed out on that were, clients that kind of could have, turned into longtime clients and stuff. So that was one thing I wish I would have done in the beginning, is gotten a CRM very soon and tracked everything I did, tracked all my clients, tracked all my invoices, my quotes and stuff. So that way I can kind of learn from myself over the years, because we've only just gotten into a CRM a couple years ago. And even the 2 years that we've been in on it, it's really kind of shown us a lot where we've grown and what we've done and where we can learn at and what we can do more of. And that's what I try to tell guys when they first start something out is if you're going to do it, don't cheap out. Don't just kind of do it, paper and pencil. Get on the computer and get it a legit CRM that you can track your stuff. You could track your clients. You could send invoices and whatnot. And it'll really pay off in the long run, big time.
I mean, I call it the 5 pillars, right? You have to have a marketing engine. You have to have a sales engine. You have to have an operations engine. You need to have a financial engine. And then you have to have the systems that tie it all together. And If you can have 5 of those things really well tuned, then you end up in a spot where you've built a machine, a business that's actually a machine, where you have data integrity, that you've built enterprise value, and that if you ever one day, goodness for gracious, something happens to you, that at least you have those things in place to be able to operate, and somebody can continue to take the business on and evolve it. Or if you wanted to sell it down the line, buyers are always looking for those 5 key things that are really, really tuned. And of course, yes, a P&L needs to be sexy and a balance sheet needs to look good, and your cash flow analysis and all that stuff is important. But those 5 key hubs, really what you could do is break those down into granular aspects that are all process driven. And if you do that and you leverage automation in today's market and the tech that's available to you, AI and these different things, and you can build those into each one of those pillars, now you've saved a lot of time, you've become more profitable, and you've also got some more freedom for yourself and your family, right? And so,
yeah, definitely. I like to say that all the time. That's it's definitely, it changes you from having a job to running a business when you're able to have that. It really streamlines everything, and it's it's like there's expectations now,
Yeah, absolutely. Jake, look, I won't hold you any longer, brother. Thank you so much for the time and for pouring into the industry. I know that any of these freestyle jams, because you've watched other ones too, and I know other people give great feedback about them, but just know that this time right here, I think, frankly, continues to serve our why in this world, man, which is to help one another. Yeah.
Anytime. I appreciate you having me on, and if anybody has any other questions, they feel free to reach out to me directly too.
Appreciate you. And then for anyone out there, any facility managers, property managers, owners, where can they find you if they're looking for paving or any kind of pavement management solutions services?
If you could find me, you can find us on our social medias, Burroff Paving /Sealcoating, or our website's burroffoutdoorservices.com, or you can call us directly.
Man. Awesome. We'll drop that link down below in the comments here, so you can always click through right to Jake's website. And I know his team and himself would be more than happy to service your pavement and give you any advice that you're looking for as well. Jake, as always, man, appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much.
No problem. Appreciate you, Judd. Thank you. Have a good one, guys.
You too. And for everyone on here, you can also click subscribe, click that like button. And if you have any comments or questions, put them down below. Jake, have a great day, man. Make it super successful, brother.
Peace out, man. Thank you.
Peace.